Morning, students. We are going to start with chapter 5, the fundamental unit of life, cell. And as you know, there are variety of living organisms around us. For example, small microorganisms, plants, animals, from very small sizes to the large size. They all look different externally, but you know that they all are able to perform all life processes like respiration, digestion, growth, control and coordination, and uh, reproduction, etc. If they look different externally, then why they are all are performing similar functions? That is because of the presence of a same unit of life present in all, and that unit of life is called the cell. So in this chapter we'll discuss about the cell, and we'll come to know what are the basic structure of the cell. How was the cell discovered? It was in year 1665 that Robert Hooke he designed his simple microscopes, as you can see in the picture, and in this microscope he observed a slice of cork. Cork is bark of a tree, and he observed a thin slice of cork, and he found a honeycomb like structure, as you can see in this diagram. And that structure he explained as it has various compartments, and he named each compartment as cell. And cell is a Latin word which means a little room. History of the cell. Now, after the discovery of this simple cell, which he discovered in bark, which is actually a dead cell. Then, after in 1674, it was Leeuwenhoek who prepared a simply improved microscope of himself, and he discovered free living cells in pond water. And in 1831, Robert Brown discovered nucleus of the cell. Then later, 1840, Purkinje found a living material inside a cell, which he named as protoplasm. Then around 1838 to 1840, Schleiden and Schwann they presented a cell theory according to which they explained that all plants and animals are made up of cells, and cell is the basic unit of all living organisms. In 1858, Rudolf Virchow he modified the cell theory by explaining that all new cells arise from pre-existing cells. And after 1840, when electron microscope was discovered, it was possible to see the internal structure of cells, and that led to the discovery of various cell organelles that we'll discuss in next slides. Next is cells may vary in number, in shape and sizes. So on the basis of number of cells, the organisms are classified into two types: unicellular and multicellular organisms. Unicellular organisms are those organisms in which only a single cell exists, means उनकी जो body है वो सिर्फ एक ही cell की बनी है, and ये एक single cell ही सारे body functions perform करता है. For example, एक छोटा सा organism amoeba, it takes nutrition, it excretes out the waste, and it transports everything and reproduce itself by the same single cell in its body. And these organisms have a very simple body design, क्योंकि एक ही cell है तो आगे further कोई body organization नहीं होता. And other examples of unicellular organisms are yeast, paramecium, various bacteria, and some algae, chlamydomonas, etc. And multicellular organisms have more than one, means बहुत ज़्यादा नंबर में सेल्स होते हैं उनकी बॉडी में. there may be millions and millions of cells, and due to the presence of large number of cells there is a division of labor, means cells के कुछ ग्रुप्स बन जाते हैं और वो ग्रुप फिर एक पर्टिकुलर फंक्शन परफॉर्म करते हैं, और वो सेल्स मिलकर के टिश्यूज बनाती हैं, एंड देन दीज टिश्यूज परफॉर्म सिमिलर डिफरेंट फंक्शंस, और इस तरह से उनका बॉडी डिज़ाइन कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी में चला जाता है. तो उनका बॉडी डिज़ाइन सिंपल नहीं होता, रादर दे हैव कॉम्प्लेक्स बॉडी डिज़ाइन मेड अप ऑफ वेरियस tissues, organs, organ system, etc. So multicellular organisms are maybe all plants and animals, certain fungi, algae, etc. Next, shape of cells. Actually, there are variety of shapes we can have for the cells, and it depends on the function which the cell is performing in our body. For example, red blood cells present in our body, they have disc-like spherical shape and they are quite smaller in size. And fat cells, they are larger and globular, spherical in shape because they need to they need to store fat in our body. Next, we can see the structure of a muscle cell in our body. It is spindle shaped, means thicker at the middle and thinner from the corners. And next is the bone cell, which has a polyhedral shape. Next, we can see a nerve cell. Nerve cell is very long and has a branched structure because it needs to carry messages from one part to other part of our body. Next is sperm cell of human, and this has a head-like structure which is oval shaped and a long tail. And next we have these cells, white blood cells in our body, which have irregular shape because they keep on changing their shapes. And at last we can say the example of amoeba. Amoeba has a irregular shape because it has kind of projections around its body, and due to which it keeps on changing its shape, and these projections are called as pseudopodia. So you can see that in a single organism like human also there are variety of shapes and structures of the cell, but internally all cells are similar. Size of cell. Size of cell may range from 1 micrometer to 15 to 20 centimeter. तो एक बहुत छोटा सा सेल जो एक बैक्टीरिया होता है और उससे बहुत लार्ज सेल तक वेरी कर सकते हैं साइज. एंड यू कैन सी इन द पिक्चर स्मॉलेस्ट सेल इन द एंटायर यूनिवर्स इज ऑफ माइकोप्लाज्मा. Mycoplasma is a kind of microorganism and it has the smallest cell somewhere around 5 to 10 micrometer, and the largest cell in the world is ostrich egg, and smallest cell of human body is the human sperm cell, and the largest cell in human body is egg, female ovum or egg, and the longest cell in human body is the nerve cell, because as I have already told you that it has to perform function of transporting the messages, so it is highly branched and the longest one in our body. Next we come, the cell is the basic structural unit of our body, or actually all organisms, as we have discussed, that they are made up of cells. और ये cells चाहे वो single cellular organism है तो उसका तो है ही है वो building block, और एक multicellular organism like human or other animals, they are made up of very small cells, and these cells combined together to perform a similar function, and that group of cells is called tissue. And group of similar tissues which perform again similar function form organ, and group of organ that perform a similar function is called organ system. और इस तरह से इन organ systems को मिलके हमारी body बनती है, जैसे digestive system, nervous system, reproductive system, circulatory system, variety of systems we have in our body, और ये सारे systems अलग अलग function perform करते हैं, but इन सब systems के पीछे basic building block again cell होता है. तो we can say that cell is the basic structural unit of living organisms, or the body of the living organisms, and it is the basic building block itself. Next, basic functional unit as well. Basic functional unit means cell हमारी body में सारे functions परफॉर्म कर सकती है. जैसे एक सिंगल सेल अमीबा को अगर हम डिस्कस करते हैं तो उसकी बॉडी के जितने फंक्शन है वो अपनी लाइफ को प्रोसेस करने के लिए यूज कर रहा है, दैट ऑल फंक्शंस आर परफॉर्म्ड बाय द सेम सेल ओनली. जैसे उसको फूड चाहिए तो इट एक्वायर्स न्यूट्रिशन, ये उसको डाइजेस्ट भी करता है, उसको अपनी बॉडी में ट्रांसपोर्ट करता है, देन इट एक्सक्रीट्स आउट द वेस्ट. और इवन एक अमीबा से डिवीजन होके किस तरह से आगे फर्दर generations कैरी होती हैं. तो all these functions are performed by the same cell in amoeba, and similarly in all other animals and plants. where the number of cells are more than one. They also perform, each cell is able to perform all the functions. Hence, we can say the cell is the basic functional unit, and this is because of the composition of the cell. Cell इस तरह की बनी है कि उसके अंदर छोटे छोटे बहुत सारे parts हैं that we'll discuss in chapter, and each part of the cell is able to perform a specific function. And because of this unique composition and structural organization of the cell is able to perform all life functions, and that is why cell is called the basic functional unit of all living organisms. Quick recap of all the things we have discussed today. Every living organism is made up of cells. Cell was first discovered by Robert Hooke in a cork slice. Organisms may have one or millions of cells in a body. New cells always arise from pre-existing cells. नई cells अपने आप कहीं से नहीं आती हैं, पुरानी cells के division से ही बनती हैं. Shape of cells depend on their function. As we have discussed, some cells are irregular in shape like amoeba and white blood cells. Largest cell is ostrich egg and the smallest is mycoplasma. And cell is the basic structural and functional unit of organisms. Hope you understood everything, and you will be able to solve the questions which I have given in the assignment. Thank you and have a nice day.